All right, people, this just came into the studio. This absolutely gorgeous looking laptop, the Lenovo Yoga Slim 9i, the Gen 10, all new for 2025. And we're going to get our first look at it here today. Now, I got a look at this last month back at CES here in Las Vegas. This is running Lunar Lake, right? So this is the Core Ultra 7 258V. So we're looking at 8 cores, 8 threads, and no hyper-threading, 32 gigabytes of integrated RAM that is integrated on the chip with Lunar Lake. And from what I understand, this is a one-off from Intel. They're not going to do the same type of chip going forward. It was too expensive from what I understand, but that's what we get here. So the benefit of Lunar Lake is better efficiency, better battery life. And I got to tell you, so far in the initial look at this, it has been very good. I'll bring you a full review very soon, but I was able to test a few things, including the battery life. I was able to get 13 plus hours, almost 14 hours on the Modern Office test. So that's a good, encouraging sign. I have more battery testing to do, and I've been seeing very good performance, especially when it comes to graphics with the Intel Arc 140V graphics, of course, and that has been impressive with this outing. So the star of the show, not only is this design, but you get this absolutely freaking gorgeous 4K plus display. And let me show you this. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. So you're looking at a UHD plus display, and this is going to be 3840 by 2400. We're going to get into why I think this is probably one of the nicest displays I've ever seen. Now, it is glossy, it is 120 hertz, and it can get as bright as 750 nits of peak brightness in HDR. You're looking at 400 to 500 SDR, standard dynamic range, and I got to tell you, this touchscreen here is absolutely stunning. This has got to be the star of the show. It also has a really nice keyboard, as we'll get into. It's got a pretty interesting layout here, as function row there, and then of course the fingerprint scanner on the keyboard is very interesting, and you get a really nice touchpad. It's not haptic though, I wish it was, but other than that, this beautiful blue color here is absolutely gorgeous, like a tidal teal is what they're calling it. So absolutely gorgeous. And we're also going to take a look at that in-screen or under-screen camera, and of course that one is pretty interesting, although I'm not sure if I like the quality, but I like what they're trying to do here, getting this to a 98% screen to body ratio. Hey everybody, it's Andrew, and this is my first look review at the Lenovo Yoga Slim 9i Gen 10, all new for 2025. Coming up. So right off the bat, we're talking about a design that is absolutely stunning here. This is covered in Gorilla Glass here. And as you know, there's no reverse notch, or really not a pronounced one. This is where the guts of the camera, I guess, are. And that means it's going to be under the display. Now you can't see it here, but I'll show you when it is activated that this does light up, and you'll see where the camera is. Now, camera's not great. I can tell you that right off the bat. There's going to be some improvements needed going forward, but I like where this technology is going. They put in a very good camera. It's just that it's under the display, so it's not going to be the best quality in terms of the overall picture, but obviously we'll show you in a moment. That is what this brings to the table, and by doing that, they're giving you a 98% screen to body ratio here. Now, this display is a 14-inch UHD plus 3840 by 2400 display. It's a 16:10 aspect ratio, and it is a touchscreen display. So for those that need touch, it is there. It goes back as far as you see here, and it is really nice. Now, one of the things about this display to note is obviously it's an OLED display. So one of the things you'll have to be careful of is PWM, or screen flickering. That is common with this type of technology, and screen burn-in might be an issue down the road. We'll have to see long term, but this is a stunning display. So if you're a content creator doing Lightroom, Photoshop, video editing, this thing is going to shine. This is where it's going to be really good. And brightness is pretty amazing here. So we're looking at peak brightness of 750 nits. And that, of course, is in HDR, but it can, I would say in SDR, you're looking at 400 to 500 nits of brightness, which is more than enough on this. Now, it is a glossy display, so depending on your lighting conditions, you will see some glare and reflection. Now, the other thing we'll talk about is the I/O here. There's only 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports. They're USB Type-C, and that's it. No headphone jack, no USB-A, no HDMI, nothing. So a lack of ports is, to me, the biggest downside of this device. Although if you can live with the 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, then you'll be fine. It just depends on what your use case scenario is, but not great I/O. It does have a replaceable SSD though. And as you can see from the reads and writes in my initial look at this, it's very good for what you need this laptop to do. And this particular one has the Core Ultra 7 258V, 32 gigabytes of LPDDR5X RAM, running at the very fast 8533 megatransfers per second. That is Lunar Lake. And again, integrated on the chip. And like I said, it might be a one-off. So just keep that in mind. Now, that's the expandability and that's the I/O, which could be a little bit improved. Obviously, having only the 2 ports is a big downside to me. Now, Lunar Lake so far, as you can see, the single multi-core is actually on the higher end of Lunar Lake. But again, it's not going to blow you away in terms of sheer raw performance. But again, looking at synthetic benchmarks really doesn't tell you the picture. When you're using this for Microsoft Office, email, web browsing, everything will be snappy, fluid, no hiccups, no slowdowns. You'll be perfectly fine with this. And having the Intel Arc 140V graphics gives this a leg up over the competition as being one of the best integrated graphic solutions. So if you want to play games on this, you certainly can. Now, another area where this thing is pretty freaking amazing is the sound. And the sound is rich, it's full. It's pretty amazing sound coming out of this. Now, this has Dolby Atmos that's going to help with the spatial audio. And I put it head to head with one of the best in the business. And that, of course, is the 14-inch Apple MacBook Pro, the M4 version that I have. And I got to tell you, this held its own. But I don't want you to be the judge. You let me know what you think in that comment section below. Now, let's give them a listen. Now, speaking of the camera, under the display, like I said, not great. So this is the one thing that I'm happy they're trying, but I don't think the execution's there yet. This can be improved, right? So, but what we're seeing here is a 98% screen to body ratio is what they were trying to achieve. Is it adequate? I guess it's adequate to do your video conferencing, but I would say leaves a little bit to be desired. I don't think it's there yet, but I like where the technology is going. So I give them kudos for trying. It's just not a great look just yet. But again, you let me know what you think in the comment section below. Now let's give it a look and a listen. So this is the camera. This is the under display camera. And as you can see, not very good. So I'm not sure what they could do to fix this. I know it does enable this to have a very nice screen to body ratio, but this is definitely not what I was expecting as far as the camera is concerned. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. I think this technology has a ways to go. But what do you think about the audio quality as well? But most importantly, what do you think about this video quality? Let me know. Now, one thing I will say about this has a 75 watt-hour battery, and it actually is pretty good. So I was able to run at least one battery test, the PC Mark 10 Modern Office test, which is a mixed use real world test. And I got 13+ plus hours, almost 14 hours on it. And that's going to tell you a lot, because what you can expect with this, I would say anywhere from 8 to 10 hours of solid use. Now I put it at 40% screen brightness, and I put it on the balance mode. So expect a little bit more if you bump the screen refresh rate down to 60 hertz as opposed to the 120. You may eke out a little bit more, but having close to 14 hours on this is pretty impressive. And I gotta say, that is going to be pretty good. I'll do further testing when I do my full review, but right off the bat, initial 48 hours in, this thing is freaking awesome. And as far as the weight and everything is concerned, it's got a really nice design. It's really solid looking. Now, one thing you will notice is it does collect a little bit of fingerprints here with this glass here, but when it is clean, it is absolutely gorgeous, but you will have to carry a cleaning cloth. You will be wiping this down. Now, I will have more to say on this very soon, but again, I want to know what you think about this device in the comment section below. The highlights, just to recap, is the gorgeous UHD Plus 4K Plus display with the touch, and of course 120 hertz, 750 nits of peak brightness, this glass design here, the 98% screen to body ratio, the under camera design here, although I'm not crazy about the actual webcam, but I like where they're going in the technology. The lack of ports really is the biggest Achilles heel on this, and it comes in a little expensive here, but it's almost like a really nice luxury laptop, and I gotta tell you, so far, so good. So the overall build and quality looks amazing. I will bring you all the numbers in the upcoming full review. And so far, by the way, it's run cool and quiet. We'll get into the thermals and the overall performance coming up. But so far, we can get a good idea what you can expect if you want to pick one of these up. Again, links in the description below. So until next time, this is Andrew, and I'll see you in the next video.